Okay, we are now live. So, welcome everyone to our first ever PTSD awareness show. And I am going to kind of let everybody introduce themselves. We'll start off with Dark Soul 74. Hey, Dark, are you there? Okay, he's being quiet. We'll go to Minnie then.
Why do I have to be next?
Because you're the next in line.
Hi everybody, I'm Minnie. I'm Bonnie's daughter, aka Missy. Um, I'm here to show support and be awareness as to say PTSD is not just military; it's pretty much everywhere. Um, but I do not want to take away from the military. I'm a military brat, so I have full 100% respect for anyone that has served or is serving. But I'm just here to show support.
And Justin, will go with you. I don't know which one you want to use, your Justin or your screen name for whatever.
Justin's fine.
Okay.
Justin's fine. My name is Justin, obviously. Served in the Marine Corps for 5 years. I was an air winger. Um, of course, saw some things, did some things. Been there, done that, got the t shirt for it. I was supposed to be diagnosed with PTSD, but because of the VA and their strict regulations on it, I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety in the result of nightmares, night terrors. I have fits in my sleep. I've woken up in the kitchen before with a knife in my hand. That was a trip. But I'm here to, of course, share my story, support PTSD, and support everyone who suffers from it. So,
Josh.
Hey, I'm Josh. I served 8 years in the United States Army as a airborne ranger. Um, while as while being assigned as a ranger, I was a sniper. Um, kind of like Justin said, I've seen some things, done some things, got the T-shirt. Um, I'm here to raise awareness and support for PTSD because a lot of times it goes either undiagnosed, misdiagnosed, or a lot of people get ridiculed for PTSD and say that it's not a real disorder or anything like that. And coming from somebody that has it, it's very very real. The nightmares, the constant panic and anxiety, the aggression for no reason, so to speak. Um, it's been a long journey for me, and I'm still learning the disorder myself and getting to a better place, and I'm trying to help others the same way because when I got discharged, I was thrown out. I didn't have somebody to talk to. I didn't have somebody that was going down the same road as I did. So I'm trying to be the person that I didn't have.
Tom, are you back yet?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Uh, Hi. I'm Tom. Um, I'm here to support PTSD. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I 19 of them when Abrams tank hit the equipment. Um, It's hard for me to talk about it. Me out. I, with a one-on-one basis with somebody saying if anxiety disorder, social anxiety disorder,
Tom,
have
is
my
your
kid. Go ahead.
Tom, is your internet messing up again?
I've got it.
All right, that sounded better that time because you were starting to sound like a robot for a minute there.
So are you.
I am too.
Yep.
Oh man, this thing just doesn't want to cooperate tonight.
Everybody sounds like a robot, so deal with it.
Just roll with the
Okay,
flow.
so
Everyone's good on my end, so
guys, tonight we are going to first of all, I want to let y'all know we are going to get a link for you all for a t-shirt for PTSD awareness that another friend of ours, All Vets, is selling. All proceeds from those t-shirts are going to help vets. So I will make sure to get the link to that website so you all will be able to order t-shirts from him to help these vets out because we need to give them support for all that they've done for us. Um, Tonight, we're going to let them kind of talk a little bit about what they want to talk about as far as their stories go and as far as how they deal with PTSD on a day-to-day basis. This is not going to be the first show that we do. I have been in touch with some police officers, firefighters, and EMTs, and I'm going to bring other people like those on the show as well that also deal with PTSD from their daily work as well. So it's not just military. This thing is, it's a big thing. A lot of people tell them, you know, just like with mental health, it's all in your head. It'll go away. No, it doesn't go away. It's something that stays with them every day. I know most of you here know my best friend had PTSD, and 5 years ago, he killed himself because he lost that battle. The number of people that kill themselves a day with PTSD alone is 22 a day, and my mom and I figured it out the other day. That's like 3,000 people in a day. I think it is per year, and we need to stop it. We need to bring that down to zero because in my book, one is too many. So that's why I decided to do this show to give people the ability to understand what PTSD is and how to be there for those that have it in any way possible or get them in touch with somebody that can understand them and help them through it and so that they know they're not alone. So with that being said, we will let whoever wants to start. Minnie, did you want to start first?
I guess so. Like I said in my introduction, I was not in the military, but I did suffer through a lot of trauma as a child and young adult. So it is real for even for civilians. I went through so much as a kid. I was in and out of foster care as a child, so that had a huge impact. I am a domestic uh, survivor. I went through 5 years between two different relationships of domestic violence, as well as being a rape survivor as well. So a lot of that has a mental issue with me. I suffer from severe depression as well as PTSD, anxiety, and panic attacks. Every single day is a struggle. Every single day is a battle for me. But I wake up every day and I'm like, I gotta keep going because I have two little girls that I want to prove to them that even though this is real, you can make it through. You have a support system. You have people that care and want to be there for you. So it is a hard subject to talk about, especially when you're still trying to come to terms with certain things. But it's worth it because in the end, knowing that you have a support system that is there for you is a huge thing because if you don't have the support, then you feel like you're alone. And even with your support, if you still feel alone, but you have people there that will actually be like, hey, listen, reach out to me. I'm here. And that's what I do on a daily basis. Like, yes, even though I suffer from PTSD, I'm always there for people that are like, hey, I just need to talk. I tell people my phone's always open, my emails are always open, my messenger, everything that anything you can get a hold of me on, do not hesitate because I'm right there.
I also give out my email, my Twitter information, my Snapchat, my Twitter, anything that I can for people to reach out to me. I'm not a counselor. I don't have a degree in counseling, but I'm a good listener. And if I can't help you, I know people that can help you, so I can put you in contact with them. But I'm always there for anybody that needs me. And most of you know that I am a recovering addict from crack cocaine. I went through sexual abuse, as did my daughter. It started when I was 5 and it ended when I was 17. But then from 17 to 32, I was physically, emotionally, and mentally abused. I've never actually been diagnosed with PTSD, but I do have some of the symptoms of it with the sleepless nights, the nightmares, and the depression. But I was lucky enough to have somebody like Blake to help me through that situation and try to deal with the underlining parts of what it was. The depression isn't as bad, but I still battle every day with the sleep apnea due to the fact that I can't sleep because I get the nightmares and I don't want to go to sleep. And I know, Dark Soul, you understand that. You and I've talked about that.
Right.
So I have to force myself to go to sleep like I told him to do. So it's a struggle every day. You wake up, you try to deal with the day as it comes at you, but at the same time, knowing there are people out there that are there to listen, that have gone through some of what you've gone through and can help you through it, makes it a little bit easier. With that being said, we'll go ahead and go to Josh next. Josh,
Josh, I think you're still muted.
is he muted? Okay, then we'll go to Justin.
Um, so 5 years in the Marine Corps, saw some stuff, interesting stuff, I guess is what you would call it. I won't go into too graphic detail. I've lost a lot of friends, um, and one of those friends I actually lost in October. Um, they said, and of course, you know, they would say something like this. They said it was that he was cleaning his rifle and the rifle went off. But you know, those of us that were in the military, we know that that's not how it happens. You know, we have been trained from day one how to handle those things, and I'm sure there's some people in here who know the story behind the beanie that I wear. Um, it got stolen, and someone someone got me some more. But being in the military and being put into some of the positions that I was put into very, very early on in my military career caused some things to go a little haywire, I guess. And I haven't honestly been right this. I haven't been right or the same since. Um, one of the biggest issues that I have is I can't go into Walmart if there's a lot of people in there. I can't even go to a restaurant if there's, you know, a lot of people in the restaurant. I actually go to one specific restaurant. It's called it's called Waffle House, and the one reason I go there is because there is a camera where I sit that points directly behind me, and there's a monitor up on the wall that I don't have to turn around to see who's walking in behind me. I can just look up and see who's coming in behind me. And that's probably one of the worst feelings ever, is not knowing who is behind me or, you know, what's going on around me. One of the things we were always taught was, you know, situational awareness and always be aware of your surroundings. And, you know, after a couple of these things happened to me, those few things that caused whatever in my head to just rewire or snap or whatever it was, they've not something that's ever going to change for me. And I know it's not going to change, and it's something that I've been working on adapting myself to, certain situations. But one of the worst events in my life has been going to the VA and the VA saying, "Oh, you don't have PTSD." Okay, explain the nightmares. Explain waking up in my kitchen with a knife. Explain me crawling on the ground and waking up in my hallway screaming for no reason. I've had the cops called on me a couple times because they were screaming in my apartment. And there I am on the floor screaming. But yeah, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot more than what I can say that I've done. I've also had issues when I was younger, and I think that those may have had some sort of an effect on everything that has accumulated until recently. And my issues actually started while I was in the Marine Corps. And when I went to re-enlist and move into a different MOS, they pretty much shut me down and said, "No shot, not today." And that was the end for me. And I wanted to be a lifer in the Marine Corps. Like, it was my dream to retire from the Marine Corps. And now I'll never get that shot. But I got lucky. I got a lucky break. In a week, I go to the Virginia State Police Academy, and I will continue my service no matter what it takes.
Josh, you ready?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right.
You're good.
Before you go, Josh, a lot of people on the comments are saying thank you guys for your service. So for you guys that can't see the chat, I wanted you to hear their voices. I will tell you guys in the chat right now, these guys are very humble. I have told them, I don't know how many times, they're my heroes, and they will tell me they're not heroes. But to me, they are. So, guys, thank you. Thank you so much, because without you guys, we wouldn't have the freedoms we have today that we fight to hold on to.
Just doing a job.
To you guys, it's a job. To us, you're our heroes. And I love each and every one of you. You know you're my family. So, Josh, your turn.
All right. Well, first of all, to those of you that are commenting, thank you for our service. I'll be the first one to say thank you for your respect. As far as what Bonnie said about us being heroes, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but I'll tell you, I'm no hero. I had a job to do. As far as I'm concerned, the heroes are the men and women that did not make it home, the men and women that signed and cashed in that blank check. Fight every day to honor them. I appreciate all you guys' opinions, but in my own personal opinion, in my mind, I'm no hero. I had a job to do and I did it. That being said, as far as my PTSD experience, y'all heard my introduction, what I did. I don't want to go into any major gory details. My first, I guess you would say, traumatic experience from when I was in the Army happened, as a matter of fact, when I was in reception. We hadn't even moved from reception to basic training yet. And one of the guys that was in my platoon, on my fire watch, actually, decided he was going to go up to the third floor of the barracks. And let's just say it's a long way down to that concrete. That's how it all started for me. And I think that pretty much always stayed in the back of my mind throughout my service. There was a lot that I experienced during my deployments that kind of got me to where I am today. When I was discharged, it happened unexpectedly. Kind of like what Justin said about wanting to be a lifer in the Marine Corps. I fully expected to put my 20 years in the Army. I'm from a very small community in northern Maine that, unless you want to work in a lumber mill, military is your option. And I wanted a better life for my family than I had growing up. So I went into the Army, fully expecting to make a career out of it. And after just short of 8 years, I was discharged. Kind of, you know, pardon my language, but thrown out on my backside. I was bitter and I was angry, and I didn't know what I was going to do next. I had all of this training, all of this knowledge, and no way to apply it anywhere, and it built up an aggression inside of me. And then I had somebody tell me that, hey, well, it's not what you were doing, but why don't you try going into the police academy? So, yeah, sure. And part of that up here is to, do ride along for law enforcement. And I got blessed with an officer that was very compassionate with my background. And after about 2.5 months of riding along with him every weekend, we went out to the range. I was starting to feel a little bit more confident with myself. And then the firearm got put in my hand, and I was going to do the target practice, run through the drills. And the first time I squeezed the trigger at the target, my mind started flashing back to overseas. I set the weapon down and I walked away, and I knew right then, that wasn't a career that I could pursue. Now, currently, I am working in the mental health field. I support adults with intellectual disabilities. My PTSD is recently diagnosed. Mostly that's my own fault. I mean, I knew I kind of always had it, but I was in denial, I guess. I was trained that we were supposed to be better than the rest, so to speak. So to admit that I had a weakness was not something that I was prepared to do. Recently, after some life events, I talked to a doctor, and I did get the diagnosis, and I'm in a much better place than I used to be. The worst experience that I had since my discharge with my PTSD is I'd gotten pulled over. Wasn't even something I did. Somebody else that was driving the same type of vehicle as I had basically stolen drugs from somebody and taken off. Well, they seen my car and it matched the description, so they pulled me over. Got me cooperative and all that. Asked me to put my hands on the roof of the car so they could search me. Not a big deal. I put my hands on the roof of the car, and the officer at the time, or the officer that had pulled me over, decided that it was a good idea when he was searching me to, instead of putting his hand on the shoulder, start bringing his arm from behind me up like it was coming around my neck. I immediately flashed back, and the next thing I remember is the officer was on the ground underneath my knee, and I had his service pistol in my hand. Don't remember how we got there. I was arrested for it, brought to the jail, put in holding. They arraigned me the next day, and when I was in the courtroom, the judge asked what happened. I explained everything that happened, and the charges were dismissed. But it was, I can't describe the feeling of hopelessness when I was sitting in that cell waiting to be arraigned, because I knew that I did not have control over my actions at that time, and I didn't know what I was going to do. I I since started learning some cooking skills. Tom, Dark Soul, and I have had a couple of conversations, and he was having a challenging night, and he asked me what I do that helps me. And, I still have the aggression that's associated with PTSD. So one of my routines is every night before bed, I go and I hit the punching bag for 15, 20 minutes and just burn off all of that aggression that I can. And then I sit down with a pen and a notebook, and I pretty much journal my thoughts out for the day. I try and take it out of my mind and put it on paper. And it's helped quite a bit, but I still wake up in the middle of the night with the cold sweats. I still wake up screaming. kind of like Justin. When I first moved into this apartment, my neighbor had no idea who I was. So the first couple of times that he heard me screaming in my apartment underneath of his,
So,
I woke up to a knock on my front door with a sheriff's deputy asking if everything was okay. You know, it's the biggest thing, the part of the struggle having PTSD has
yeah.
been learning how to cope with it. And now that I've started kind of finding those coping skills, as you know, some of you guys might know, I do everything I can every single day to be there to support other people that have PTSD, whether it's military related, first responder related, domestic violence related. I don't mind. My lines are always open. Um, and the biggest drive behind that for me is, I want to be the person for somebody that I didn't have when I was first discharged. Because when you come out, they've taught you how to put that uniform on, but you don't know how to take it off. So to have somebody there to explain to you that it's okay to feel the way that you're feeling, it's okay to have the nightmares, it's okay for all of that, makes a world of difference. So, I mean, my battle with PTSD is a daily struggle, and it's always going to be that way. But my lines are always open, and I've found that me helping other people with PTSD has in itself been therapeutic for me. It might not get things off my chest, but it gives me a sense of purpose that I didn't have before. Um, as a matter of fact, another conversation that I had with Tom, it took me a long time to come to this realization, but what helped me kind of was my turning point, my epiphany, so to speak, is realizing that yes, my mission over there might be over, but my mission is not over. My mission now is to be here for all of you guys that are struggling with PTSD. That's my way to continue my service, is to be there to help you guys get through what you're going through, and at the same time, honor the memory of those that gave their lives so that we could be here to help one another. I'm always going to be my brother and my sister's keeper till the day that I take my last breath.
To add to what Josh was
Um,
saying, I
you
actually
guys,
do agree with him
one thing that
because
you need to know, my YouTube family, you are my family. But my TikTok family is another side of my family. It's a side of my family that understands some of the things that I've gone through and some of the things that I've done, and they don't judge me on it. They love me anyway. And Dark Soul and Main Country, Josh, they're my TikTok brothers, and I know anytime, night or day, I can call them. They're there for me. Dark Soul's wife, she's my sister. I call her all the time for no reason, just to talk sometimes, but they can always tell when something's wrong. And I love you all very, very much. And I'm very thankful for both families that I have, because I think I would be lost without both sides of it. So I want you guys to know that, how much I love and appreciate everything you do for me. With that, Tom, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, we'll let you talk now.
Uh, I think started for me was when I was in basic training. If any of y'all are familiar with Fort Knox, Kentucky, that's where I was stationed at as a 19 kilo with the Armor Training Division. Um, if y'all have ever heard of Cannon Agni Hill at Fort Knox,
I don't know if any of them have.
it is this was probably about a fourth and a week into basic training. Our 9mm service arms on our side. Uh, we weren't allowed to carry ammo on us at the time. The guy that was probably 6 behind somehow managed to get some of his ammo onto him and loaded his handgun and shot himself in the head because he could not handle He was a good friend of mine. And then being out in the field and doing bivouac basic training, doing war games, training maneuvers in the tank. They used real rounds while we were in the tank so we could experience live round ammunition fire to get us used to it. But you never really get used to it. You can't get used to the sound of pinging lead coming off that metal. And the 105 millimeter on some of the tanks, 107 on other tanks, those cannons firing off were so loud, even through your headphones that you have to wear inside the tank is still deafening. Um, I was only in there for 3 years. My rank was an E4. Um, I quit. The tank commander folded into a pretzel and landed on the ABS plastic around the gunner scope, and it went between two of my discs, put my disc completely out of place. I was literally paralyzed for 6 weeks because of it. I had to go through intense physical therapy, trying to avoid back surgery to get that disc pushed back into place. And to this day, I still have problems with my back because of it. So Christmas Day of 2009, one of the hardest days of my life. I lost my dad to a massive congestive heart failure where he had a massive heart attack. And then 9 days after my daughter's third birthday, I lost my mom. And I lost my sister April to heroin overdose about 5 years ago. And it's just been one thing after another. And it, it's the mentality of it. When you go into it's like, I'm terrible with names. Green. I'm sorry, dude. When you go into a restaurant, you always want that farthest back corner from the door with your back towards the wall. It's second nature. You do that because you're trained to do that and it sticks with you, but it causes a severe amount of anxiety, social anxiety. It, it almost drives insane sometimes. Uh, my wife and I, we went to Tony's a couple weeks ago to eat, and my back was towards the crowd, and I just started freaking out right there in the restaurant. I had to make my daughter side of the table just so I could finish eating. I did not feel safe. I didn't feel comfortable sitting there with my back towards the crowd, and it's like everybody else says, and all veterans go through this nightmares, waking up drenched in sweat because of how bad and how tense some of the nightmares can be. Screaming in your sleep, not even waking up screaming, just while you're still asleep screaming. And then when you wake up the next morning and your wife tells you about it, it's, it's devastating. You don't know what to do. You don't know where to turn sometimes. It freezes me. It's almost like you're standing still in time, and you can't do anything about it. It's like you're locked away in your own mind, and you're fighting a battle that you feel like you're never gonna win. It's so hard to cope with at times. And other times it's easy. But for the most part, it's debilitating. And people don't understand that. It's like Bonnie said, I think it's all in the head. It's not. It's, it's an inflicted wound that will never heal. Uh, a mental disease, so to speak, not a illness, not a sickness, but a disease that is incurable. People don't realize that, and that's why I'm here. That's why I want to support it, because I strongly think that we need to, like Bonnie said, get the word out there, make people realize that us as vets, first responders, you know, people who've had traumatic, any type of traumatic occurrence in their life that's happened to them that has caused them to become down with PTSD need to realize that it is a disease, an incurable disease. I mean, I don't know about anybody else. I don't want to live dependent on chemicals for the rest of my life and be a zombie just to be able to function in society. I want to be able to live a normal life, but I know it'll never happen. So hard.
The whole thing with this show is to let people know you're not alone. There are people that understand what you're going through. There are people that are there for you. Some people like me, I don't understand PTSD. I don't suffer from it as far as being medically diagnosed with it, but I do know my dad has it. I've seen how much it's changed my dad. I've seen what it did to my best friend Blake. One minute he was loving, kind, generous, sweet, and within 2 seconds of that, he could flip a switch and he was just like, the evil things that could come out of his mind would just scare me. But at the same time, I knew that it was still him and I trusted him with my life. My dad and Blake would never tell me the stories of what they've gone through. My dad has told me bits and pieces of things that I've put together to understand some of what he went through, but I don't fully understand it because he won't tell me. And his answer to me when I ask him to talk to me is, I will never put that burden on your shoulders. It is something I will carry. You do not need to carry that with you. It will kill you if you knew the things that I carried inside of me. And I wake up every day with the fear. Is my mom going to call me and tell me my dad's gone just like Blake did the same thing Blake did because he lost his battle? But I'm lucky because my dad is strong. My dad does lean on people. My dad does have people to talk to like Josh and Tom and Justin who understand him, who have been there, who have gone through what he's gone through, that can help him through it. So for me, I'm lucky to have that. But with that being said, there are some people who don't realize there's somebody out there who does understand it and who's been there and can help them through it. I can help through the drug addiction counseling, telling people what I went through and that I understand it. I can help them through the rape situations, the physical, emotional, and mental abuse situations. But I still leave my line open to anybody else because, like I said, I have Josh, I have Justin, I have Tom, and many others that I speak with on TikTok that understand PTSD that I can get them in touch with, that they can open up to and not have to fear being judged. And for all of us, I know for me specifically, and I'm pretty sure for the rest of y'all too, TikTok is an outlet. It is an outlet for us to be able to take whatever we're feeling inside and let it out. We can change who we are there. We can be ourselves. We can be somebody else. We can do our OCs. We can not do our OCs. We can be honest with people and be who we are and not fear the judgment of that, and be able to tell our stories and not fear the judgment of what's going to come with it. I know a lot of my YouTube family, you've heard my story of what happened because Ron forced my hand at it. But with that being said, y'all were there for me. Y'all stood by me, and I appreciate that. but there's still a lot of things you don't know, but my TikTok family does know, because I can tell them those things and open up to them because they understand. They've been there. So it's easier to talk to them. It's not that I love them more or I love you more. It's just they're easier to talk to because they understand more. It's easier to open up to somebody who understands more than feel like, am I going to be judged if I tell somebody this?
Um,
So
is it can I add a couple things real quick?
yeah, sure, Justin.
Okay, so just so everyone I have just so everyone knows, I'm currently an Uber and Lyft driver, and I have a pretty big family here. A couple of guys that I actually drive with, they're both of them, and you know the military branches. We give each other crap all the time, but they're both they're both Navy. One was a boatswain, yeah.
Yeah, my son's going in the Navy, Justin. Thanks for that.
but no, the one has a very good understanding of everything that goes on, and the other one he was a an engine room engineer, so he wasn't really out too much. He just knows, you know, the stories and whatnot. But just to show the ignorance that some people have, the ignorance that of what goes on in people's minds. One of the best people that I work with, she her sister, her brother-in-law, her I think her father, and a couple other people in her family were all in the Marine Corps. And one day, we were driving for this team, and the president of the team, we go to Waffle House all the time. Well, he wanted to go to a different Waffle House, so you know everyone agreed to it except for me. But I kind of got drug along either way. There were so many people in the Waffle House that there were people standing, and we sat at the bar. And I'm actually shaking thinking about this because of how aggravating and nerve wracking it was. Um, Went in, sat down at the bar, and he looks over at me and he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And my friend Heather looks at him and says, "You're the stupidest thing I have ever seen." He just looked at her with this confused look, and he knows everything that I've been through. And she looks at me and she says, "You need to get out of here. You need to get out of here right now." And at that point, I was lucky. I got a phone call from one of my customers. I needed to go pick them up, and I got out of there. I got out of there really, really quickly. Um, but I guess I was pretty shaken up because about 4 hours later, when we all met up, it was a Friday night or a Saturday night. So we're doing bar hopping, you know, going from bar to bar to pick people up, and I guess I was so shaken up by the entire situation and the lack of empathy from one person that the rest of the night was really, really bad for me. And but that just goes to show how ignorant some people are of what we go through on a daily basis. I mean, even an hourly basis. You know, depending on where we are and what our situation is. But to go back to TikTok, I don't know who has been a part of my lives. I'm kind of taking a break from TikTok for a little bit. But if anybody has ever been a part of any of my lives, I talk a lot about the military. I talk a lot about the good times. I talk a lot about the interesting things that I went through. And then there's always that one person who has that one interesting question. And it doesn't matter what the question is, but it's a question that everyone stops commenting and they listen because I have something to say about it. And I've had people, you know, talk very highly of my lives to people who have just come in. Some people like to call it inspirational and all this other weird whatever. But usually what I'm saying is stuff that I've experienced. Usually what I'm saying is stuff that, has affected me. And I'm open about it. I'm honest about it because I don't have anything to hide. I don't have anything to keep from anyone. And I find myself that talking about it relieves some of that stress for the 2, 3, 4 hours that I'm on live. And being able to explain to people, what's going through my head and what's going on with, with my life and everything. It's kind of liberating, even if it's only for that short period of time. And then once it's all said and over with, and once I log off, and once I go back to working or home or whatever the case may be, then it all comes jolting back. And I kind of get made fun of by my little group here about going on TikTok and everything a lot. But what they don't really understand is it's an outlet. It's a place that I can talk about things over and over and over and over again, because there's always someone new. There's always someone that wants to learn something about it. And they all know exactly what I've been through. They all know what I'm going through. So it's just kind of a mute point with them. And getting to tell new people about what's going on that's to me is the freedom that I feel I need every so often to get away from things. And I mean, TikTok has been amazing to me just because of, getting to go on live and getting to, tell my little story. And yeah, it's just one of those things that I will continue to use for however long it's, still there.
I know for me, Justin, when I use TikTok, the one thing that sticks in my head the most is a lot of people always tell you that it doesn't matter how many times you tell your story, you need to keep telling it, because there's always going to be that one person that hears it. It's going to save their life. It's going to change their life. And I keep that in mind. And I know I tell my story over and over again on TikTok, because I don't know, before I started my lives, there was a girl that touched me with her story. She's not live yet that I know of, but when she told her story, I was like, I've got to reach out to this little girl. And I did. I reached out to her and I told her she wasn't alone, because she had been going through what I went through. And I just felt that knowing she wasn't alone was enough for her. And that's when I started putting my information to contact me out there, because you never know. Any one of us that do TikTok, we always touch somebody, and sometimes we don't even know we do it. We don't even know we're helping somebody. Go ahead, Josh.
Can I interject for a second, Bonnie? Um, there was a couple of things I wanted to touch on. First off, like, Justin, man, I can't tell you how much I relate to with what you were just saying. Like, especially with you and Tom both about the whole crowds thing. I don't, y'all, if you come into my lives, you see me, like, I'll sit there and I'll have a drink of whiskey and I'll, play the music and stuff. But for me to go out to a bar, it is a very challenging thing because of how busy they are. Like, I basically got to have I basically got to have an operational plan in place for me to go to the bar. I've got to get there when they open, and I've got to have a way out of there before they get too busy, because the crowd, I can't do the crowds. I've got a local coffee shop that I go to that, it has parking spaces for about a dozen vehicles. And for as long as I've been out of the military, I could go to that coffee shop right now, pull into the driveway, walk inside, order my cup of coffee, walk back out to my vehicle, and drive the 10 miles back to my house. And when I get back to my house, I can tell you exactly what every one of those license plates said. You know, I still get that hyper awareness, that hyper vigilance. Um, so yeah, you're not alone with that. And to touch on what you guys were saying about TikTok being an outlet, my coworkers kind of pick fun at me too about the TikTok thing. They know I'm on TikTok, but they don't. I don't do TikTok videos at work just because of policies at work as far as cell phone usage. But I had a couple of coworkers that would kind of joust me a little bit about it, and then I was like, you know what? Download the app, go on there and see for yourself. Me personally, when I started TikTok, I had no idea that it would lead me here. It was this strange app where you could post 15-second videos. And the first video I posted, I was actually, in the dumps over my ex leaving me and moving out. And I posted a video about, it was that Thomas Rhett song, Marry Me, and for 15 seconds, all of my emotions came out in that video. And it kind of clicked with me, hey, this is an outlet. This is some way that I can express myself during those times, when I don't feel like I can call somebody and say, hey, I'm just, I'm not depressed. I'm just not feeling happy right now. It's just a way for me to get those emotions out without having to explain myself to anybody. And a lot like what Justin said, it's that complete and total escape from what you're going on, what you have going on in your life at that moment. Like whether it's while I'm live, whether it's while I'm posting videos, while it's me, getting frustrated because I think I'm caught up with duets and then somebody hits me with another one and I'm like, oh man, I'm trying to go to sleep. None of that matters because when I'm on TikTok, I'm main country boy. I'm there, I'm helping people, I'm making people laugh, I'm making people smile, what have you. And then I log off, and everything comes rushing back. I post a video and I'm main country boy. I'm on top of the world. I log off and I start walking to work, and the first car that comes past me, I want to hit the dirt. It's an escape and it's an outlet. Um, as far as like the best experience that I've had on TikTok, way, 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 way back when, months ago, when I was, just barely at 1,000 followers. Um, I was in a live one night and somebody came popping in. Um, and the funny thing about this is that particular individual is here with us tonight. Um, and probably thinks that I forgot this story, but it's probably the most powerful thing that's happened to me since being on TikTok. Before I even knew I was making a difference, I was on live, I had the music going, we were cutting it up, we were having a great time. This person pops in and says that they were just having a horrible night, completely horrible night. And I commented back and forth, and then the severity of it kind of hit me, and I was like, you know what, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and end my live here. I got some stuff to catch up on, and immediately after ending my live, I messaged this person, and I spent, I don't know, probably 2.5, 3 hours just messaging back and forth, talking about the situation, and I was just doing what I thought was right, trying to be a decent, good person. That person said that they were feeling better and they were going to try and get some sleep. And I said, all right, I'm going to check in with you tomorrow and see how you're doing. I woke up about 5 hours later to this person tagging me in a video with basically a letter saying, you don't know what it meant to me, but you literally saved my life last night. And I'm telling you, I still watch that video today, and it's the most powerful thing that's happened to me since, honestly, I think since I was in the military. It was the first time since I wore that uniform that I actually felt like I made a difference, that I had that purpose. Um, so I don't want to put them on the spot or anything, but I just want them to know that while while what I did for them that night meant the world to them, that recognition afterwards, that thank you, it keeps it keeps me getting out of bed every day. So take it for what you will, but this app, it's an outlet, it's a release, and no matter how ridiculous people think it is, saying, "Hey, it's just a 15-second clip." Listen, sometimes 15 seconds is all you need to change somebody's day and keep them from doing something that they'll regret later.
You are right about that too, Josh. And before I say this, I think I'm saying this right. Dina, said, one thing I always hear is, you're 24. What could you possibly gone through that is so traumatizing? People are so ignorant and hateful. You're right. They are. They don't understand. They don't get it. And that's the whole reason I'm doing this show, is for people to understand and people to see
Oh,
that,
can can I respond to Dina real quick?
yes,
I completely understand what you're getting at as far as the, you're only 24. What could you have possibly gone through in your life? I said that I wasn't going to air out too many personal details and get too gory on this live, but I think the easiest way for me to answer that question, Dina, is I enlisted when I was 19 years old. I was 20 years old when I was out of training and shipped out on my first deployment. As I said at the introduction to this, I was an airborne ranger sniper. So as far as what could you have possibly gone through in your life at 24 years old, at 20 years old, I pulled the trigger and took the first life in battle. There's a lot a person can
Actually,
go through in 20 years.
I would like to add to that as well. I'm actually 24 years old, and I went through
I
a lot
know
as a
that for
child,
me,
as well as being
sometimes people,
told,
there
you
are
know,
people that make comments on videos. They don't even realize they're touching somebody. Like when they say, just stop scrolling, just stop right there. I've got 15 seconds to say something. Just stay right there a minute. And they'll tell you, you're beautiful, you're special, you're worth something. If somebody tells you you're not, no, I'm here for you. If your family rejects you, I'm your family now. Those things, especially one specific person, the positive potato, and all of you TikTokers know who I'm talking about when I say that name. Every day, whether he's alive or not, he tells you, here's a smile and a heart just for you. I want you to know I care. Those little videos that you run across through your scrolling, they bring you up even when you don't realize you need it. And that means so much to me. That makes my day so much better. And knowing that if I'm having a bad day, I can go to Justin's live and Justin will bring me up, or Josh's live, or go to Tom's videos. Tom will hit me with some of the craziest videos to do at, will put a smile on my face, make me laugh so hard. I'm like, I'm not doing that, and I'll do it just because it just makes me laugh and it makes my day like 10 times better. And then we'll go back and forth between each other, and that just makes everything so much different, and so much better in a day that most of people don't even realize we're touching somebody with our videos that they come across. But like Josh says, there's those that do let us know, you know, that video you did, I needed that today. You may not have realized it, but I needed to hear that today. I needed to hear where somebody's told me that I was worthless, or I was fat, or I was ugly, or I was too old, and you're telling me, no, you're beautiful. Okay. It doesn't matter that you've had kids and you have stretch marks. You're beautiful. That's what makes you beautiful. It's because you gave life, and that's the most beautiful thing in the world. Those comments really make things so much better for everybody. Whoa, 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 wait.
um,
What was that? Okay, May says,
to
wish I
add
could have
on to
had
me.
you as a friend in high school, Bonnie. I got called ugly every fucking day by hateful people. You know what? If I would have been your friend in high school, I would have been in a lot of trouble. I got in so many fights in school for people bullying people. That was my thing. I defended people. I still to this day do. And Maze, you really should check out TikTok. I'm telling you, your guitar playing, you, you can do that there. You would love it. And people would love you. I'm telling you, you would be a blessing to all of us there. Believe me. Um, People don't realize the little things we say and do affect people. One of the biggest things we have going around on TikTok right now is a video that tons of people duet, tons of people say, but it's the truth. When will people realize that what you say matters, and it actually can cause suicide? Because you know what? People don't realize the words you say, they cut, they hurt. And if somebody's on that edge and you say the wrong thing at the wrong time, you're going to push them over that edge. So instead of bullying people there, we try to stop the bullying and bring people back from that edge with very loving, kind statements. There are kids that are being told, because you dress like a tomboy, there's something wrong with you. No, there's not. Okay, I dress like a tomboy. In school, to this day, I still do. It's like pulling teeth to get me into a dress. I will not wear a dress. Minnie got herself into one. I don't know how Andy did it, but she's always been my tomboy. She's always been like me. Don't wear dresses, don't wear makeup. Occasionally I will put it on, but what you see on TikTok with me is real. Those TikTok videos I post for you guys to see, it's a side of me that I want to share with you guys. It's a side of me that you don't get to see on YouTube. It's a side of me that lets things out. The music brings my emotions out. It brings the real me out. I can't hide anything with music. It all comes out of me. And that is what I need. I need that outlet. I need a way to let those emotions come out. Whether it be a situation where I look like I'm ready to just break down and cry with somebody in a video that I'm doing, feeding off their emotion and the song together, or if it's just me by myself doing a song, having fun. It's a way for me to be me. And my TikTok family has been so great. So many of them have touched me in so many ways. There's a few that don't even know that they have. And today I ran across a couple of their videos that I've made comments to them about how they've touched me and they don't even know that they've done it. They make me feel like I can be me. And I am thankful to them for that. I can't thank each and every one of them enough. And there's no way I can probably reach out to every one of them. I have over 1,000 people following me, and my goal for them is to realize, you know what? I don't care what time of day it is, nighttime, daytime, it does not matter. You Snapchat me, you Instagram me, you email me, I will be there for you because that's what I want to do. Okay, Minnie, you go ahead. You have something you want to say.
To actually add on to what Josh was saying, I was actually going
Hold
to
on. I
talk
think
about
you're
that
muted,
tonight.
Minnie,
Oh, hold on.
I
or
can
your
hear you.
volume's
Can
way
you hear
down.
me
Oh,
now?
your volume's way down. Hold on, Minnie. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
Well, I was actually going to talk about that night tonight. Like I said, I am 24. I've been through 2 domestic relationships within the past 5 years. Um, my last one was actually just recent. Um, I went to my cousin's for a couple of days for the weekend while he was getting his stuff out of my apartment. My first night back, my girls were with their dad, and I was completely alone in the apartment, and it hit me so hard. I was talking to another friend of mine, and he had to go to bed, and I was not in the right state of mind. So I always live by this statement saying, you don't meet people on accident, you meet them for a reason and by chance. And I decided, I'm just going to surf through some lives and see, if they can bring me up and bring me out of that depression feeling that I was in. I felt like I was suffocating. I was in a panic attack. And I went into Josh's life. I was kind of in the background, just kind of listening. And he literally called me out. He's like, how are you doing tonight? And I'm like, honestly, I feel like complete crap. I I don't know what to do right now. And when he realized how severe I was in, he literally just stopped his life completely for me, shut it down, and was like, I'm here for you. The floor is yours. You just talk. And I started crying more because I realized that I stumbled on this person that didn't know me at all and was willing to open up and basically sit down and be like, I'm listening. And the next day afterwards, he blew my TikTok up with videos, him and a lot of his followers. And I laughed and I had a grin on my face all day. And it completely showed me that I wasn't alone, even though I felt completely alone. And I was at my house completely alone for the first time in 2 years, on top of just everything going on. And I've told him all the time that I appreciate what he did, and he doesn't realize that that day he became my best friend because he literally just stopped everything. It's like, I'm here for you, no matter what it is. And even to this day, like, even though he's going through his own issues, he still is like, hey, how are you doing? How are you holding up? And I'm always there for his, got his back, and he's got mine. And I appreciate everything he did for me that one night. He became my best friend, and even people in his live chat that was just there to have a good time, they even was like, listen, we're right here for you. Everybody showed so much support, and just like everybody here, I went on TikTok as a outlet for my depression to try and have a safe way of letting it out, because I'm 7 years clean from cutting myself. I'm an ex cutter, and it's a daily struggle with me, but I found other alternatives and people that understand that you're not alone. I might be young, I'm 24, but it doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the background. When you go through traumatizing, that stays with you, and you just have to learn how to cope with it. And sometimes it's not easy to cope. That's when your support system comes in. That's when you know you have a safety net to fall back on. And I really appreciate Josh and the Country Fam and everything that they have done to stay there, because I was so far gone mentally that night. I literally could not breathe. And they all stopped what they were doing and said, I'm right here. I'm here to catch you when you fall. And that was it for me. That's where I knew I found a family that I really belonged in, besides my own blood family. And I appreciate them every day.
That's
Chris says he is speaking about Josh. He has done the same for me as well. Can't say thank you enough, Josh.
that's kind of amazing what power we have. Those of us that go live, we have this. Well, I know I do, and I know, and maybe a few others do. I'm not 100% sure. I've only just recently started live hopping and bouncing between people, but um, one thing that I know is that there are at any given moment in my live at least 5 or 6 people that if I shut my live down for someone that's coming in and having a really hard time or something, I don't even need to shut my live down, to be completely honest. Somebody comes into my live and there's, at any given moment, 4 or 5 people that will instantly jump on someone who's having a bad day, and they will try everything they possibly can to drag them into the mess that they're making with me in my lives, because they're these people, like, they'll get in and they'll try and make me blush, and they'll make me embarrassed, and they'll make me sing and all this other fun stuff that I have to do for them just to keep people entertained. But there's people that are in my live that they'll come in and they'll be having a bad day, and like all of these people that are in my live will swarm them like ants and be like, nope, no longer having a bad day, come on, get in on this, we're gonna have some fun. And if I need to, I can shut my live down right then and there, and all of us, all the ones that I know for a fact, will stop everything that they're doing, and I'll put them on my Snapchat. I'll put them in house party, anything else like that that I have at my disposal. We will pull them in and do whatever it takes to make their day just a little bit better.
I know that's kind of been a humbling thing as far as my life doing as well. Is like I've always told everybody that comes in and becomes. Many kept saying the same, and just so that I can clearly air on that. When I started getting, I don't even want to say TikTok famous, but just popular and more followers, I started looking around and I seen all these other people that were starting these, mafias or gangs or what have you. And that's never been anything that I've been about. Like, you call your thing whatever you want to call it. But what I'm trying to do is I want us to feel more like family, like you've got that support system. So I established Main Country Fam. And what I've always told everybody on there, because I'm constantly having people thank me and all of that for everything that I do. And I appreciate all of that. I really, really do. But what I've always told everybody, and Tom can attest to this, Bonnie can attest to this, Minnie can attest to this. All I've ever said, to thank me for what I'm doing, all I ever want to see is you pay it forward. Be there for somebody when they need it the way that I was there for you. So it blows my mind when I'm doing a live and there's 20 people in there and we're all laughing and joking and having a good time, and somebody comes in and says, hey, I really need to talk to you, I'm having a bad night. I don't even shut down my live. Everybody that's in there drops what they're doing and just, to use Justin's terminology, swarms that person. And within 20 minutes, we got them smiling and laughing again, because that's what we do on there. We come together as a family. And by the way, Tom, I know that what you were talking about was pretty difficult for you. So to get that little smile back on your face, I got something for you.
Oh no.
Yeah. But no, like, we're always joking around and doing stuff like that. Back and forth all the time. And touch on what Justin was saying earlier about, how each branch kind of digs on the other one. I don't want to speak on your behalf, Justin, but I know a lot of times I do it.
Yeah, Tom is trying so hard to get me in on that with you guys, and I just have not made that mark yet. I might do it out of the blue just to shock you all.
Justin mentioned earlier about how all the branches kind of dig on each other, and I don't want to speak on his behalf, but a lot of times I know, like, we had good times when we were in, and a lot of times it's when we date, when we cracked up on each other. So, like, if I have a veteran come into my life that's having a rough night, Justin, I don't mean to pick on you, man, but I'm going to use you as an example. If I've got a Marine that comes into my life, I'm Army through and through. Okay, I got respect for all branches, except for maybe the Coast Guard. But let's be honest. If I've got a Marine that comes into my life and he's having a bad night or whatnot, I'm going to talk to him a little bit, get him kind of comfortable, and be like, I know you probably ain't heard this in a while, but you know what Marine stands for, right? Muscles are required, intelligence not essential. And I fully expect it back. But for all of you that are listening, like, I've had people, like, I've been on Tyler McConnell's live, and we've been going back and forth with each other. And I've actually had people attack me because I'm making some smart aleck comment like that. Y'all need to understand, when we do that, listen, we're having a good time. It brings that brotherhood back around. I fully expect, I can guarantee you right now, what's going through Justin's mind is, yep, and Army Marines aren't really Marines yet.
He's not so good.
And this is why y'all love me. See, this is why y'all love me, because
we love you, Josh. We love you, man.
But, yes, we all have PTSD and we all have our bad moments. Like, I have my moments where I'll shut the lights completely off. I'll sit in a dark room in a corner on the floor and rock back and forth. But you best believe when my phone rings, if Tom, if Minnie, if anybody calls me up and says, I don't know what I need right now, I just need to talk, I don't care what I've got going on in my life. I'm dropping what I'm doing, I'm picking up the phone. Even if it's to say something, like, muscles are required, intelligence not essential, or,
Justin caught it.
This is mine.
I don't mean to pick on you, Justin, but Tom's Army, man. Tom is Army, so I can't really go after him. Right. Would you feel better if I cracked the Navy one? Like...
No, Justin caught what I did. The rest of y'all completely missed it.
I did.
He's
I
laughing.
missed it.
I'll tell you what, though, that right there is the biggest pain in the royal.
There you go, bro. There you go, bro. You got it out of me.
I mean, I know I'm the youngest, but jeez.
Hey, Justin. Justin. You lost the game.
All right, that fucking deserves this. All right, that fucking deserves this. I don't give a shit. All right, you understand? Read between the lines.
Okay, guys,
Nice and slow. I know your army.
Guys, really quick, really
You're
quick.
number one.
Before we go offline, which we're not doing anytime really soon here, but before we go offline, we're gonna give everybody our TikTok links so they all can find us on TikTok. Okay.
Yes.
So, if I forget, somebody throw that out there so I'll remember to put it out there. But yeah,
If you can get to mine before me, go for it, because I'm looking right now.
there you go, bro. I got it for you. I did it for
I'm
you.
sorry, I didn't know how this thing worked. I didn't know how this thing worked.
It's all right. Your army. You forget things all the time.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lord.
Bonnie, when you put mine out there, make sure you spell it correctly because a lot of people think it's Marine Country Boy, and I got more intelligence than that.
Okay, I just posted mine. I just posted mine out there for everybody. Minnie, type yours in the chat, please.
Hold on just a second. I gotta find it.
And what?
My TikTok.
I didn't know this would be interactive. Now I got to.
I'll send it to your messenger, Mom, so you can send it, because I don't know how to get to the messenger thingy from YouTube. So I'll send it to your messenger so you can tag it.
Oh, okay, Minnie. I'll explain what that meant.
Hey, you want a sip?
Hold on.
There you go, Minnie. That is what it meant.
Do you want us to throw our if we want to throw our Snapchats up there as well?
Yeah, definitely. You can throw that up as well.
No, I got it.
I have a Snapchat.
Just
Gotta find it.
Christopher, you know pretty much you're pretty much connected with everybody, right? On here. On our
Whoa.
TikTok.
Yeah.
I just gave
Not
you moderated ability so you can put everybody's information in.
Oh, now
All
you
right,
do that.
Mom, I'm sending you my link to my TikTok because I don't know how to do that. So
Okay.
that's my link to my TikTok.
Okay.
She'll have to show me how to do that.
I'll share your link. I can show you.
Okay.
Continues to
This is Minnie's.
Tom,
kick me out.
Tom, you got to throw yours out there, man. You got a Marine in here. You're making Army look bad.
It's not hard. There's only one of me and two of you. It's pretty easy for me.
Okay. There's Minnie.
No, he didn't.
Now, see, I have another Marine, but he didn't come in tonight. So
It's all right. We only need one.
Don't worry, you still got two of us to come bail you out when you get into some junk.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I'm gonna need it too.
No, wait. You heard that, right? For once, a Marine actually admitted that he needed the Army to come save his bacon.
Let me explain that because the Army always follows the Marines in.
Yeah, I know.
okay, I just posted Minnie's and Tom's. Tom's is Dark Soul 74.
As soon as my updates are complete, I'll give my Snapchat out as well.
We always follow the Marines in first because we're not stupid enough to get shot first.
And that's
cold.
No, I feel kind of bad though. We're picking on the Marines, so I got to throw this out there. You know, especially for you, Bonnie. You can tell. What did you say? Your brother or your son that was going in the Navy?
My son. My
Okay.
son.
Just tell him
My
to watch.
brother.
Just tell him to watch out, because when you go into the Navy, you know, 100 sailors leave on a submarine and 50 couples come back.
Oh, God.
I think my favorite.
Oh, my God.
I think my favorite still is the Navy is the
That
Marine
doesn't
Corps'
help
Uber.
you.
Oh, God.
What's that
Oh,
say about you, though, Marine, since you are an Uber?
Oh, Lord.
I know somebody just said something. I just missed it though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Josh just said it.
I said, what's that say about you, Marine? Because, I mean, aren't you an Uber?
I make enough money. I make enough. I drive. Okay, so quick story about this real quick. Got out of the Marine Corps in July. Had absolutely no plans because it was kind of like
You guys
a
are bad.
very sudden thing. Like I was actually planning on my enlistment papers to go through. Give me a thing. And then, of course, Sergeant Major told me, nope, not happening. And then, so I had to come up with something really,
Don't
really
ruin my
quick.
Mountain Dew.
Got here, and like it was a popular thing here, Lyft and Uber. So I got in on it, and the next thing I know, I'm making $1,200 a week, and that's better than the paychecks that I was making while I was in. And I was like, I'm just gonna keep on doing this. Well, back in May is when I put my application in for Virginia State Police, and all of a sudden I'm getting phone calls. Hey, you need to show up here at this time. You need to show up here at this time, so that way we can do physicals. We can do mental evaluations, which that was fun. And
my thoughts exactly, Josh.
back in February, the first sergeant that was in charge of the academy called me personally and said, "Hey, we have we've got a position for you, and we also have a spot open in one of the areas that you had requested. Do you want it?" And the one area that I had requested was here with all of my friends. That way I wouldn't be too far away from these people. And as soon as he told me I had been accepted into the academy, it was kind of an embarrassing moment because I'm sitting in the Richmond airport in the Uber queue, and I'm losing my mind in my car. I jump out, and my friend in the car next to me jumps out, and we started hugging, and I'm just bawling my eyes out. And he's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong?" I'm like, "Dude, I made it. I'm in the academy." And he's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, "Because I'm a little bitch. That's why."
Damn.
Oh my
God.
I know for me, you guys, a lot of y'all have the tattoo or are getting the tattoo, Iggy 6. That's something that I've been wanting to do, but I did not feel that I had the right to, not serving in the military. So the picture you all see on my thing, that's the tattoo I'm getting.
Can I respond to you on that one real quick, Bonnie? Because
Yes.
I've actually gotten that question a couple of times this week, because everybody's seen my IGY6 tattoo. So I've been asked to, I haven't served, but you being military, what's the significance if I were to get the I got your six tattoo? Look, I don't want to speak for all veterans or all active duty soldiers, but the way that I look at it, if you get that IGY6 tattoo, that's showing support. That's showing PTSD awareness. If you walk up to me, if you walk up to me and you've never served a day in your life and say, "Hey, I got this tattoo because I served," I'm gonna smack you with the same hand I got my tattoo on.
Yep.
But if you say, "Hey, I got this. I haven't served, but I got your six tattoo for support, to raise awareness, to let anybody that wears a uniform, whether it be military or first responders, know that I might not have been through what you've been through, but I'm here for you. You know what? You get that tattoo, as long as you represent it correctly, I will respect the hell out of you for it.
So long as
Actually, I had my own idea about a tattoo I wanted to do with the PTSD and the I Got Your Six tat. I thought about doing the ribbon with the number 6 in it because to me that's what it means. Like I do suffer from PTSD, but I want everyone to know that I am also a support for anyone that needs it. So that's going to be my twist when I do it is the PTSD ribbon with the colon symbol with the number 6 in it because I didn't serve, but I do have support for everyone, and I am one to be like, hey, hit me up. I just gave my mom my TikTok and my Snapchat information, so that will be in the comments shortly.
Yeah, I
But
posted
if
it.
you want to hit me up on Facebook, my messenger's always open. I don't know what's going on with Messenger tonight, but as soon as they figure that out, it'll be up and running. But other than that,
Okay, there's a thing on Facebook right now, and I was just tagged in it. Facebook, What's Up app, and a few others are down right now, are acting up because of something's going on.
Okay.
so as
And
soon
it
as they
Well,
figure
was
those glitches out, that'll be back up.
it was on
I
something about the.
I know
It was
not
on the news
serving.
today.
I know I have not served in the military. I wanted to go in, but I was pregnant for Minnie, and they basically told me that if I wanted to go in, I had to give her away, and I wasn't about to do that. So I made the choice to be a mom instead of going into the army, following my dad's footsteps. But my entire life has been based around army. I understand it. I understand the sacrifices. I understand what you have to do. I don't know what happens while you're in there, but I do know with my dad being in the military, he was gone a lot. And when he
He
was
called you.
home, my dad raised me in the understanding of military and what it meant and the respect that you have for people that serve. So for me, military has been my life, even though I've not served. So I wanted to do something in in order to show those that are in the military, those that have been in the military, the vets and so forth, that I have your backs. I'm there for you always. I don't care what the situation is. I'm always going to be there for you. I feel vets are being treated wrongly. I feel they deserve better than what they're getting. I feel that they deserve better respect, better treatment. And I fight for that because I believe in that 100%. I am a military brat. There's no way around it. But with that being said, I figured that ribbon with the PTSD and the semicolon was the best way to show my support without trying to take away what the Iggy Six means. But I've always got your backs.
Can I
But
elaborate on the
Hey, Mouse.
IGY6 thing a
You just
little
gonna
bit,
go right
Bonnie?
there?
Yes.
it's not fire water.
I get this
I said
question a
be
lot
quiet.
too, especially from people that haven't
But
served in the
I
military.
know.
They ask, they're like, what does IGY 6 stand for? It's
Well, it
not
would if
really
it was
Iggy, it's IGY 6.
I be
And
quiet,
what it
Kitty.
stands for is I've got
Okay.
your six.
we
So
haven't
when
had to
you see
do
this
that.
tattoo, or
We
even because
haven't
I've got a
had
shirt that has it on it as well, um,
to
what I got your
energy
six
drink.
represents, we all refer to it as PTSD awareness, but what it really means is no matter who you are, no matter where you are, no matter what you've done, if you need somebody,
Fire
I
with
am there for you, day or night. It's I've got your six, it's I've got your back. Another question I've gotten a lot lately, and since we're talking about the tattoos, is I've got the semicolon with my IGY6. I don't know
And
if
then I
y'all
did
can
it with a
see that or
mango.
not,
I did
but
the
Yeah, we
shit with a
did.
mango.
I've got
Oh my god.
the semicolon with the IGY6. The semicolon, for anybody that doesn't know what that means, it's suicide awareness. The semicolon, when it comes to like literature, it's the pause in a story, not the end of it. The reason I got it, and this goes along with the PTSD awareness stuff, um,
Cutters.
y'all have to excuse me if I cut out a little bit because this one's challenging for me. Um, when I got discharged and I got back home, I got discharged during my third deployment. Got sent back home. Tom, I think you know this story. Minnie, you might know this story, but I know like Justin hasn't heard it, and I'm pretty sure you haven't either, Bonnie.
Yeah, I heard about it in your life.
Yeah, when I got home, my wife at the time had already moved back to Maine with my son. I had nothing left. I didn't have the military anymore. I had nothing left. I turned to alcohol. It was just I was in a miserable space. My story almost ended there. I I will be the first one to admit that I made that poor choice. Um, Clear as a bell, I can still remember sitting on the floor against my bed. I've still got my letter. I keep it on me as a reminder. I wrote my letter. I called all my family except for my grandfather. Um, because my grandfather was really the hardest person I had to say goodbye to. And I'd said goodbye to all my family on the phone without them really knowing I was saying goodbye. Um, and then I sat there, Indian style, on the floor with my back against my bed. I had my pistol in my hand, one bullet in the chamber, and I put the gun to my head. And I was about half a trigger pull away from not being here anymore. And my phone lit up, and it was my grandfather. He didn't say hello. He didn't say any of that. I answered the phone. Mind you, I'm in Georgia still. Um, I answered the phone and I said hello. And his exact words were, "There is a U-Haul at this place up the road, already bought and paid for. Go pick it up, pack your shit. I think it's time for you to come home." And I came home, and I'm still here today. It's so when we talk about sometimes it's just those little a phone call like Bonnie, you were talking about calling Tom's wife up and talking about really nothing but just talking. Sometimes those phone calls can mean the world, not just to the person that's making the call, but to the person that's taking the call as well.
Mhm.
I could call Tom up as soon as we get off the live and not know at all what kind of mood he's in. And he might play it off like he's in a great mood and everything, but that one phone call might be all the difference for him.
Really quick to answer your question, Chris. No, I don't have the tattoo yet, but I found it, and that's the one I was planning on getting. I've already started saving the money up for the tattoo, and I have a really good tattoo artist that works with me. If I walk into her shop and tell her how much money I have and show her what I want, she works with me on the price to make sure I can get what I want for the price that I have. So it is my next tattoo. But what you were saying, Josh, that was what was hard with me with Blake, because Blake had talked to everybody, my younger two kids, my mom, my dad, spent the day with his girlfriend, was smiling, happy, just normal Blake for us for the day. He talked to me, and 2 hours later, I get the call that he was gone. And I didn't want to believe it. I still have a hard time with it 5 years later. And I blame myself sometimes. I'm like, how did I not know that that's what he was doing? How did I not see through it? How did I not understand? And how was I not there for him? So
It's
that's
people
the
like
hard thing
that
for me.
that actually hide it the most because they want to help more people than they want to help themselves. So
But
you're
yeah,
not gonna always see it.
that was what was hard for me. And that is why I say, like you said, you never know with that one phone call. I didn't notice it. I didn't sense it. I didn't feel it. I didn't know that that was going to be the last time I spoke to him. And I should have, because Blake never showed emotion. And that night on the phone call, he said, "I am so proud of you and where you have gone with your life and how much you've changed it. And I love you." And that was kind of normal for Blake, but kind of not, because he never said, "I love you." But I didn't think anything of it at the time. And then after my mom called me and told me he was gone, it hit me. That was his goodbye. And it still kills me. I mean, you've all seen the videos on YouTube and on TikTok of the video I did with Blake. It still hits me hard to this day. And that was the first time I was able to look at his picture in 5 years. So it's a hard thing. And that's why I decided to do this program. I don't want somebody to have to go through what I went through. I want people to know there are people that understand and people that care. And if you think you're alone, you're not. You always have somebody. Always. Every one of us are here for a reason. We're all a family for a reason. It's because we've got each other and we're here to help each other through whatever you're going through. You don't have to end your life to make it better, because it doesn't always make it better. For me, it's made it worse. I fear every day my mom's going to call me and tell me my dad's gone because of losing Blake. That's a fear that stays with me every day. And I know my dad's stronger than that, because my dad was like you, Josh. My mom told me my dad was going to end it, but he stopped himself because the love for me and my brother and my 4 kids and his 2 great grandkids and my mom was stronger than the PTSD. But that fear is still there. It is still there every day. And after losing Blake, it just makes it more real for me.
I
It,
struggle. I still struggle with it every day too. Like I'm not going to sit here and put on a brave face for everybody and say that I never think about suicide anymore, because I do. You know,
yep.
I wake up every morning and I ask myself, why am I still here? You know, I can sit here and have something that seems so insignificant to somebody else be the one thing that triggers me into flashbacks or a PTSD attack that lasts all night long. Case in point, if any of y'all have seen the new U.S. Army recruiting commercial, they're using footage from Army Rangers for recruitment. I was sitting here one night watching TV, that commercial popped up. I was having flashbacks for the rest of the night. I live alone. I don't have anybody here that can look at me and see that something's going on. If I'm not on the phone with y'all or I'm not posting videos, there's nobody that's seeing me. So something as small as a television commercial can be so powerful to somebody, you know. And when you get into those moments, you don't want to die. You just don't want that pain anymore. So I get it. You know, I've been there. I still, to this day, there are times where I question whether or not I should still be breathing, whether it's from survivor's guilt or just wanting the pain from PTSD to be over. Because, yes, we talk about it being the invisible illness and it being a mental thing, but anybody that has PTSD can attest to the fact that there's also a physical aspect to it. There's that pressure in your chest, that such a gut wrenching feeling, your stomach turns. You know, there's physical symptoms to it as well. And coming from somebody that lost people to suicide, who's almost died from suicide, I've often and still to this day questioned why my grandfather called it that time. You know, why why it made a difference, why any of it happened, you know, why I decided to not pull the trigger after he called. Like, I question all of that stuff, and it's overthinking, and I get it. But the one thing that's kind of helped push me through is when you're sitting there and you're questioning your purpose. Like, Tom, if you question your purpose, Minnie, Bonnie, Justin, look at what we're doing right now. We all have that one person in our lives that impacted us that we lost for whatever reason. For me, my nephew committed suicide. I've had 3 battle buddies since I got discharged that have committed suicide. Me doing this right now is not only helping me, but it's honoring their memory.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm doing. I'm honoring Blake. And that's why I'm doing this. But it's not just that. I mean, when I think about it, I mean, I'm there for Tom, my brother. I'm there for my sister Michelle. I'm there. You know, there's times I've jumped into Josh's lives, and I've been feeling down, and I don't really have to say much of anything. I just walk in there, and it's just like everything changes for me. It's like it makes my day better. Or I'll walk into Justin's live. I'll see Justin's live pop up on my live feed, and I'll just like get a big smile on my face. I'm like, yes, Justin's live, and I'll jump in there, and I feel better. We all impact each other as well as other people, but we also bring each other up. Sometimes we don't even realize it. I mean, I'll call Tom and Michelle during the day, just just for no reason, just because I just want to check in and see how things are going with them and my nieces. And I don't even realize how down I am, but then after I get off the phone, I feel like, holy crap, they help me as much as I think I helped them today, and don't even realize I'm doing it.
If you want
So,
to, if you want a good laugh right now, funny.
oh no.
um, so a little bit ago, you were talking about how us veterans we need to be taken care of a little bit better.
Yeah.
Here's a laugh for you. I just got an email from the clinic just down the street that I go to because I don't have insurance or anything like that. That said, would you like to rate your last visit? Yeah, I would love to rate my last visit. Let me give it 1 star. People are horrible.
Exactly.
Hey, Bonnie.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Hey, just to add to one of the symptoms that I experienced with PTSD is thunderstorms, and I'm sure Josh and Justin can test this. Thunderstorms, 4th of July,
Yes.
New Year's,
Yes.
I get real jumpy.
I'm all right. So I know I'm going to get made fun of for this.
I mean, you're
I'm gonna get
already
made
in
fun
the
of.
ring, so
So I was in the air wing. Um, my biggest issue is about a mile and a half
I'm
down the
with you.
street here. There is an airport, and my biggest thing is the sound of aircraft. Because I was in the air wing, that's something that was constantly heard. Now I was a Harrier mechanic. I was what's called a plane captain. My job was to make sure that the aircraft was secure, make sure that the aircraft was good to fly. I was the one who checked on everything before that aircraft went out to do its thing. Actually, I'm going to show everyone here something that's extremely. This thing holds more meaning to me than anything else so far right now. Just because of number one, who gave it to me, number two, what it did. But I know a few will know exactly what this is just by looking at it. For those of you who don't know what this is, this is it's a pin, the safety pin for the armament on on my aircraft specifically. That pin right there, it represents 7 lives that I know I didn't take personally, but I'm the one who sent that aircraft out. I'm the one who armed that aircraft. I'm the one who made sure that that aircraft was ready to fly. And I actually got to watch the video of that specific bomb dropping. Phone call completed. Yeah, shut up. That specific bomb dropping, and I actually watched the people. Well, I really wouldn't call them people. The ISIS members that it took out, and the person who gave it to me was my division officer, who came back up and in and took me into his office. He explained to me the weight that that pin holds, and so one of the things that really bothers me, and people that are with me on a regular basis, on a daily basis, they watch what I do, because every so often I have tinnitus really bad because of aircraft. If you've ever heard of a Harrier, if you've ever listened to a Harrier, if you haven't, go on YouTube, listen to the thing. It has a very specific whine to it. And when it throttles up, that whine gets louder, and I constantly hear that whine. And when I'm standing out talking to my friends and everything, we're outside and whatnot. Every so often, I will look up to the sky because I swear to God, I hear one flying across. And it's it's kind of troubling because I always feel after my last deployment, I always feel that I'm always in that combat zone that I was in. It wasn't a true combat zone because of where I was, but I actually flew out to Kuwait after one of our aircraft went down and was in the middle of absolutely nowhere with an aircraft that we were trying to rebuild just so it could get up and get out of the combat zone, the active combat zone that it was in. And we spent an entire month, just six of us, trying to get this aircraft back up. And now that sound of that aircraft has just, it's embedded and it will probably never go away after listening to some of the stories that I've heard from some of the people that were in the same position as me.
I kind of get where you're coming from, Justin. And no, I'm not making fun of you, but we have an airport near us, and every time I drive by there, the aircraft come down, and it's like it goes right. You got to go across the road to get into the airport. And when a car goes by and that aircraft comes by, the very first time it happened, it shook me so bad. I hate driving by that airport. I refuse to do it. I find any way possible to go any other way besides by that airport because it scares the living
Yeah, I know.
crap out of me.
That's why.
And to this day, when they say we got to go by the airport, I say I'm not driving. I'm not doing it. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't want to go near that airport because it scares me half to death to go near that airport because that it just felt like that plane was right on top of me coming down. It scared me so bad. It had the whole car shaking. I could hear it in the entire car. So I get what you're talking about with that part of it. That scares me to this day. I don't want nothing to do with it. I prefer to stay the hell away.
So
Yeah, I know the feeling, Bonnie. I live probably about an hour from Fort Campbell, Kentucky, and we're constantly getting refuel planes with Chinook helicopters, sometimes Apaches, fighter jets come through, refuel right over our head,
Yep.
and it's just the sound of that. Just it takes you back, you know. It throws you those flashbacks, and it's I don't know. It's one of the things that's just hard to explain how you feel when you hear
It
them.
freaks you the hell out. I know if I
It
hear a
does.
helicopter going by, it freaks me out. But with my dad being in the military, I was on the base a lot with him for things when they weren't being deployed and stuff. And I heard the helicopters coming in. I had to ride on those helicopters to go from one place to another. So hearing them, it reminds me of that stuff as a kid. And I remember the one time we were in North Carolina when my dad got stuck on lockdown on the military base because they they were thinking they were going to get deployed. The helicopters that night, in and out, it scared me half to death. So every time I hear a helicopter, it catches my attention. And my husband will look at me like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'll just like freeze in the spot that I'm in. But it was the fear of my dad being sent away and never seeing him again because I'm daddy's little girl. I mean, I'm the only daughter he has, but I mean, we have a bond beyond anything. And I understand people people don't understand how I can trust military personnel because a lot of the sexual abuse I went through was from military men, but I understood that bond. And whenever my dad tried to get me to tell him about it, I refused to tell him because I knew that bond. And I knew if I told him, he would go off because I'm his baby and he would have protected me. But I also knew his life was in their hands. So I made the choice not to tell him to protect my father. But with that being said, not all military men are like that. There are some that are, just like there are some civilians that are that way. I know a lot of military men that he fought beside. They knew something was going on. They tried to get me to trust them enough to tell them, but I wouldn't even tell them as much as I trusted them with my life, because I knew that bond. I knew that brotherhood. I understood it. I was raised in it enough to know you have to trust each other, because if you don't, your life could depend on that. So I made choices that as a child I had no business making, but at the same time, I knew what I was doing because I was protecting my father. So, but with that being said, I still stand by military men and women. I still honor them. I still respect them. I still love them. And I still figure them as a hero, whether they want to believe it or not, because without them, we wouldn't have the freedoms that we have today. The freedoms that if there was ever a civil war to break out, I would be the first one on the front lines with them fighting to keep hold of. So yeah, I get it.
So to go along with what Tom was saying and what Justin was saying, as far as like regular stuff, right? Anybody that served in the military understands why Fourth of July is a difficult time for us. Even knowing that that day fireworks are going to be going off, it still gets me, and it gets me even worse anytime in the summertime. On 4th of July, I'm expecting it. The rest of the days, I'm not expecting it, so it's even worse. But I mean, we all take little things for granted. Like me, for example, the sound of an aircraft doesn't affect me, and I guess that sound I took for granted. But hearing what Justin was just saying, it makes me think of it a little differently. For me, I have my own thing. Like, for example, anybody that's in here, whether it's in the comment section or on video here with me, who here likes to go hunting?
I like to go with my dad. I just don't like to shoot anything.
Okay, but you like to go hunting, you know? I grew up in the backwoods of northern Maine, deer hunting every fall. I can't hunt anymore. Not because I'm not able to get a license or anything like that, but because after what I did in the military, I can't look through a rifle scope anymore without seeing a person. You know, people don't think of that stuff. You know, hey, hunting's fun. We enjoy it. Hell, I loved to hunt when I was a kid. I can't do it now because everything has changed.
That's like during Christmas, my mom and dad and my brother and my two kids were up visiting, and somebody shot off a gun. And I mean, it wasn't just one or two rounds, it was the entire clip. And my dad was up out of the room at the door, down on his knees with his gun drawn. And I was just like, I've never seen my dad react like that to anything. But the gunfire and it alone scared me. So with his reaction, it just made the intensity of it much higher because I didn't know what to expect. And he was just like, everybody get down and stay back. You know, he didn't want us to move. But he had his gun drawn and he was like, he right at the door. And I was just like, I've never seen that reaction. So for me, that made things a little more clear on exactly what was going on with my dad and understand it a little better. But with that being said, my dad doesn't want me to know that side of him. He tries to keep me from that side of him. But it scared me. So with his reaction, I knew that it triggered something. Because if it scared me and then he had that kind of reaction, it triggered something in him. So yeah, I get that there's things I don't understand, but I also get that there are things that you can just see and sense with people when they go through things, even if they don't tell you about it. I mean, my dad was 17 when he went into the Coast Guard. And he was 18 when my mom and him got married, 19 when I was born, and shortly after that, he moved from the Coast Guard to the Army. So his entire life, right up until I was like 17, was military. So he spent a lot of time in there, and I know there's a lot he's seen and a lot he did he will not talk about.
I had something irritating that I do, and I noticed this a few days ago. Actually, I was walking somewhere, And one of my friends looked at me and said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Walking." And he's like, "Do you notice where your hand's at?" And I'm like, "No." Well, it turns out, I guess the way that I walk with my right hand kind of on my hip, kind of pulling at my belt. I put my keys there, but it used to not be my keys that were sitting there. It used to be my pistol. And I've always had my pistol there, for every deployment we went on because of my position. I had a pistol. And now I find myself putting my hand there without even thinking about it, just ready for whatever happens if something's about to happen. But there ain't nothing there, and there ain't nothing I can do. So it's something that I gotta figure out now. What's that?
It's that muscle memory that we were taught.
Yeah,
I do the same thing to this day.
And like you, Tom and Justin and Josh, I don't like crowded places. I don't like to go to Walmart during the day. I don't like to be out during the day. I want to be out at night when there's less people around and I feel more comfortable. And I'm always sitting with my back against the wall so I can see everybody that's coming in or going out. And my husband's like, "Why do you do that?" I said, "I don't know why I do it." But then I was talking to my mom today and I was telling her about it. And my dad goes, "The training I gave you stuck." He always told me, never turn your back to anybody. Always have your eyes where you can see everything because you never know when something's going to happen. And I automatically just do that now. So I can't be around a big crowd of people. I can't be in a place where I can't have my back protected at all times. And I think I trained Minnie that way because she's like that. She hates crowded places and she has to have her back against a wall all the time to see everything that's going on in front of her.
And it makes it a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? It makes us more edgy nowadays too when we go into a restaurant. Just for the simple fact is because of look at the New York Marathon bombing.
Yep.
Other terrorist acts that have happened here in America. Even though we're not in the military anymore, it still puts us on that high alert when we go into some place, knowing that anything at any moment could happen, and it freaks me out horrible.
I know.
I can't stand it.
I know everyone that has been in the military is going to understand me when I say this. I'm always, always, always orange. Always orange.
I went in what I do for work. Our clients. There's one in particular that every day he gets an outing. He's able to go to a store and purchase a fountain soda. He's severely autistic, so it's a big deal for him. I never thought that my PTSD affected my ability to work until about a week ago. I brought him to the store so that he could get his soda. And as I'm standing there with him, he's at the fountain getting his Coke or whatever it was that he was getting. I turned to my right, and there was a military age male standing there with a pistol on his hip. Maine is an open carry state. He was perfectly legal to carry that pistol on his hip. But I didn't see an American citizen utilizing his right to bear arms. I turned and I looked and I seen a military age male with a weapon on his hip. I about lost my mind.
Now, see, if I were to see someone who, and I guess this goes back to being in the military for so long. If I were to see someone like the military police or something like that, or even a police officer, if they're in a uniform of some sort and they have that weapon on their hip, it doesn't really affect me too much. But I was in, what is that store called? It's called Peebles. Anybody's ever heard of Peebles? and this guy walked in, kind of a raggedy dude, and he had, if I'm as good as I hope to God I am at recognizing this, he had a Colt 1911 on his hip, and that thing was massive, especially on this small framed little dude. And I told the lady at the register, there's something in here with a gun. I don't think he's going to do anything. He doesn't look like the type, at least, but just watch out. And I was shopping. I actually had stuff in my hands, set it down on the counter, and walked out. Couldn't do it. I couldn't be in there. Now, I'm sure as the sky is blue, that if I would have walked out and I would have heard a gunshot, I would have turned right. I would have turned my ass right back around and ran back in. And there would have been no hesitation, and it wouldn't have been me thinking to myself, "Oh God, I got to go help." No, it would have been muscle memory, and my ass would have been back in there, and he probably would have turned a gun on me, and it would have taken more than that entire clip to put me down, because I'd be all over him.
Dana says that her hair in the shower drain triggers her.
Wow.
I can't look at them.
Yeah.
I think everybody has a different trigger.
Everyone does have different triggers. I mean, like I just said, a little bit ago, about the aircraft. Like hearing an aircraft fly over top of me, I always turn and look, and it's a habit now to turn and look to see what aircraft is flying over me, because I was stationed on Cherry Point, North Carolina, and Cherry Point is home to C-130s, Harriers. They're soon to be home to F-35s, and they're also home to the no longer existent Prowlers. Yeah, Prowlers. And those things are loud, but I mean, it was always habit to look up to see what was flying over, especially when I was on my second deployment with the Israeli F-16s, F-14s, whatever they had. I can't even remember what they had. But we were always looking up to see what was flying overhead, because we could tell our aircraft and we could tell the Israeli aircraft. But every so often you would see one of the Russian aircraft fly over, and that was nerve-wracking. And then you see the Iraqi Air Force would fly over every so often. The Afghani Air Force would fly over every so often, because we were in a neutral zone, despite the fact that it was considered a combat zone.
So for those of you that are here from TikTok who have been in my lives, Drama Cat's at it again. Little Miss Diva. Every live I have, she has to get in the camera. I did one video with her, and now she seems to think she has to be center of camera attention. And she's knows that I'm on a live. So she knows I'm on a live. So she had to come up and get in the camera.
But yes, I agree that, everybody has their triggers. A lot of people don't realize either is that you don't just have one trigger. There's multiple triggers. I mean, fireworks, gunshots for me, like the Army commercial. I tell you right now, the movie about Chris Kyle, American Sniper, I can't watch it at all. Granted, Chris Kyle was a Navy SEAL, but I watched that movie once, and it was similar enough for me that I can't watch it. That movie is a trigger for me.
You want to watch a movie that touches base as close and as realistically as as a movie can touch on what it's like to be, deployed and in a combat zone, then that movie is the movie to watch. Um, it it will give you the closest idea of what it's like without actually going and actually being there. That
That's one thing
it's
I have to say about that movie is, I mean, I growing up, me and my dad, we always watched, military movies, whether it be We Were Soldiers or Saving Private Ryan or what have you. That was our thing, and I still do that even now. A lot of them I can still watch, and it doesn't really bother me. The biggest thing is I'll be sitting here watching it, and I'll be critiquing the movie on how inaccurate it is as far as the representation of the military. But when I watched American Sniper, it was just, it's so closely relatable that, take aside from the fact that Chris Kyle was a sniper, did the same thing in the military that I did, just the representation of life being deployed was so accurate that that was enough to cause me to have flashbacks.
Well, guys, it's getting to be 1 o'clock in the morning here, and I don't want to keep you all up too late because I know some of you have to go to work tomorrow morning. So we're going to get ready to end this for tonight. But like I said, I don't want this to be the last show. So anybody that is in the chat and has been here tonight, please get the word out that I do want to continue this on Wednesday nights. It doesn't always have to be at 10:30 at night. We can readjust it for earlier times, but get the word out to the firefighters, the police officers, the EMTs, and the soldiers and the vets that I want them to come on the show. I want them to be able to talk to people. And anybody in the chat that wants to be involved, please feel free to get in touch with me. My Snapchat, my Twitter, my email, and all that stuff is in my page. It's in my bio as well as in my videos. Just reach out to me and let me know if you'd like to be a part of this. We can keep this going. And I will get the links for the PTSD t-shirts that all vets is selling. Like I said, all proceeds will be going to help vets. So we definitely want to help him get that out there. As soon as I get that, I will link it in this video in the description. And I will also put it on my TikTok page as well. Hi, sis. I see you back there. I think everybody pretty much put their information for their TikTok, Snapchat, or whatever in the chat, but I will also try to get it all together and put it in the description as well, so y'all can find us on those pages as well. And I want to thank all of you all for being here tonight and for telling your stories and showing everybody how much support we actually give each other, whether it be on YouTube, TikTok, or wherever. Yeah. I see you, Josh. Anyway, um, y'all just keep doing what you're doing. Just keep being there for each other, keep supporting each other like we've all been doing. Us guys on TikToks, keep the videos going, keep the support going. And I know I've got one coming from you, Tom. I know I do. Did y'all see what happened with me and Tom in our little duet war we had going on? Josh and Justin. Okay, so he hit me with the one with the maid coming to the door. So I got even with the Donald finger my crack one. So now he's gonna come back at me with one even worse. So yeah, I'm expecting that one. I just don't know when. I just know it's coming. So yeah. And Josh, the one that you did in black and white, I duetted that one. I don't know if you saw it or not.
well,
I'm trying to think of the name of the one that you did. It was the second half of the song of I don't want to say
in the
the
back.
complete words because yeah. I'll just send you the video in chat on TikTok. That would be safer.
Hey, Josh.
So,
Hey, I posted a video on TikTok about our little get together in Louisiana.
okay, sweet. Okay, so before we go, I'll let everybody just say their final whatever they want to say. We'll start with Tom this time since he wasn't here last time. Okay, so before we go, I'll let everybody
Be safe. If you run into any problems, or you feel like you're lost, you're alone, and you have no way out, please contact one of us. We'll be there. We'll help talk you through it, and if we have to, we'll even try to see if we can get you someplace to get you help. Please just 22. 22. One is too many, let alone 22. Let's fight this. Let's save our brothers and sisters no matter what they've done in life, as far as military, first responders, or just some kind of traumatic event in their life. Please, please contact somebody, if not one of us. IGY6, brothers.
Minnie.
I pretty much don't have anything to add. Everybody pretty much said everything. I will add that, like Thomas said, just reach out. That's the first step is reaching out. Whether it's a close friend, a coworker that you trust, a therapist, anybody that you believe you can trust and have your back, reach out to them. Like I said, mine was Josh. I just met him the first night, and he's been there for me ever since. And uh, just anyone that you feel comfortable with, reach out.
Justin.
Um, Iggy Six pretty much sums it up. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I sleep 2 or 3 hours a night, so like I've kind of worked my body into it 2 or 3 hours a night, so that way I can avoid the nightmares. So I'm almost always awake. If you need something, if you ever need someone to talk to, if you ever need someone to just listen to, I have absolutely no issues talking. I talk a lot. Um, but
Because you're a Marine.
yeah, yeah, that's exactly it. Not even gonna deny that one. Not even gonna deny it. Get a hold of someone. Always get a hold of someone. Um, and I know there's gonna be a few people out there that kind of understand this, but when it comes to the military, they're always telling us to go fuck ourselves.
Josh.
Pretty much. But you know the only problem with that little sign when you go like this, because you go fuck yourselves, but you can sit there and look at them and say, yeah, well, you know what? Behind every bird's a pile of shit.
Oh, Dana said to your comment, Justin, yeah, we know Justin, laughing my ass off.
So my farewell for the night. Well, before I say bye, I'll just throw this in there. One more dig at the Marine. Unlike Toby Keith's song "Call a Marine," Army's available too, and we're usually the best ones to back them up. So
I know I got you with that one, Josh.
you did. But no, seriously, Iggy Six sums it up. But my TikTok has been posted on there, as Minnie can attest to, as Tom can attest to, as Bonnie can attest to, and as pretty soon Justin will be able to attest to as well, because I won't hold it against him that he's a Marine. But if you ever need somebody to talk to, reach out to me. Much like Justin, I run on 3-4 hours of sleep a night. I'm pretty much always awake. And don't be afraid to wake me up either. Like I would rather wake up and go without sleep to make sure that you're okay than to sleep and wake up the next morning to know that I could have done something but I didn't. So if you ever need anything, reach out to me. I will be there. Other than that, the only other thing that I want to add to it is my typical message from TikTok. I posted a video saying the same thing today. Anybody that's watching this, including the people that have been here with me tonight, Tom, Minnie, Bonnie, and Justin, be safe. Keep smiling. And no matter how hard you get knocked down, no matter how much life throws at you, remember one thing. You're freaking awesome.
I got one more thing to add.
Okay.
Pow.
Okay, and with that being
There
said,
you go.
I'm pretty much available all the time. Like I said, I don't sleep very much. Sometimes I'm up 24 hours. Other times I'll sleep just a couple of hours. My normal sleep schedule is to bed around 1:30 in the morning. I'm up by 6. I lay back down like 8. I'm back up like 11, 12, and I'm up for the day. So anybody can reach out to me anytime. Christopher can vouch for that. I was there for Christopher to help him through a situation he needed my help in. Yeah, I'm pretty much there anytime you need me. And if I don't get right to you when you text me or something, first thing I do when I get up is grab my phone and check it and answer any messages I have on my phone immediately. So just remember, we have to stop this 22 a day. It has to stop. We have to let people know they're not alone, that they have support. They have somebody out there that understands them and is there for them. And you guys, Tom, you got to tell the crew, stop sending me gifts, okay? Stop. Y'all turning me red is enough already, okay?
Send her gifts in her lives. Send her gifts in her lives.
I can't
3
afford
nights in
anything.
a
I'm
row,
broke.
I have turned like beet red. So we need to stop that. And that's another thing. Everybody loves seeing me turn red in my lives. So they will send me
Stop spending money on bros and hookers.
Damn.
Should have
So
seen
yeah,
the one in Japan.
gifts are not
Speedos,
needed. Guys, gifts
Speedos
are
and whipped
not
cream.
needed. Okay, guys. See, I told you gifts are not needed. I'm already turning red. I'm glad that you can't see it.
It's all right, Tom. I'll
Yeah,
save
we
the ball
can.
gag for you.
The what?
I'll save the ball gag for you.
Oh.
All right, I'll make sure I'll be holding the cattle prod.
Okay.
That's something you gotta take up with your wife.
Guys,
Oh, dear Lord.
if you're here from TikTok watching this, gifts are not needed to be at my lives. I just love spending time with you all. They just like sending me gifts to make me turn red like tonight. Stop it, bro. Come on, big brother. Enough.
Okay,
So,
I'll get with
anyway.
you tonight. We'll plan a live storm.
But I try to go live every night because I like spending time with you guys. I like being around you guys. I do take music requests
Aww.
when I do my lives.
Oh my
And I
God.
just love talking to y'all and spending time with my family. And that means everything to me. And it always brightens my day. I love you too, Josh. So,
You're lucky I did the love thing because I was going to do something else that make you turn red.
but here's the thing. I don't think I'm going to do any more where I'm drinking.
I'm not doing that.
And more of that, mother.
Do your stuff. Do
I
it.
won't do any more lives where I am drinking. I think that was a bad idea because everybody kept trying to get me to
off the camera.
But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to promise that won't happen. So, love you guys. You guys have a safe night. Thank y'all for being here. And I plan on doing another one next Wednesday. I'll keep you guys updated as soon as I get information from everybody on who can be here. So love y'all, and please spread the word and let people know that I want people to come on the show and I want to keep this going. So we need people to contact me to be on the show. Thanks, guys.